On Thursday, the GOP push against Twitter and Facebook accelerated after Republican senators threatened the CEOs of the social media companies with subpoenas to force them to address accusations of censorship. The Republican controlled Senate Judiciary Committee voted to authorize the legal orders if Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg and Twitter's Jack Dorsey did not agree to testify voluntarily. Joining us now to talk more from Dallas, Texas, is Carmina Barnett. Carmina, the committee wants to hear from them about two very distinct articles that are stemming from the New York Post.
Yes, Nietzsche, they want to know about suppression and censorship of these two articles from the New York Post that were targeting presidential candidate Joe Biden. And also, it had unverified emails of his son, Hunter Biden. And so they're really wanting to know, what was the situation with this? And they also want information on the policies of how they're moderating content on these platforms. As you know, Nietzsche, in 2020, pretty much everyone jumps online and goes to either of these platforms to find out their news. And so if something unverified is out there, it could go viral and create all kinds of problems. And then, of course, this is even pushed up in urgency because of the recent news of the Russian hackers that had targeted several networks in state and local areas. And they had even been accused of stealing data from two of the servers. So it's very important that they get this information from both platforms. Both have agreed to testify in a hearing that is scheduled for next week. But this is very serious. It could have some erroneous information that is out there. And leading up to the election, which is only 2 weeks away,
Sure.
we definitely need to make sure this is under control.
Carmina, as you mentioned, we are definitely less than 2 weeks away from the November 3rd election. There are questions about policies for each of these networks pertaining to also moderating content that could interfere with the elections. As you've mentioned, we all go to social media. Last night when we watched the debate, many of us went straight to Facebook or went straight to online platforms to see it streaming there. And so that's where we are getting the bulk of our content and information. And Carmina, you know how we do. We see something online, and to us, that becomes golden and that becomes truth, oftentimes without any research.
Exactly.
So there are many questions that are swarming right now concerning what is happening with
Mhm.
social media.
Exactly, Nietzsche. And as you said, we'll see something, we'll share it. And so now there's a whole nother group that has gotten that information. And again, a lot of times, unfortunately, it may be unverified. Now, it used to be that we went to the news outlet, went to their websites and things like that, but everybody's concentrated in one place, and that's on these social media platforms. And so it's very important that they're following guidelines. And I understand that there is the regulation of freedom of speech. So we understand that, but there still has to be some regulation to make sure that erroneous information isn't constantly being passed.
Certainly would prefer and desire to have information that is verified, not just for this election, but on anything. So certainly a very sensitive topic during a very sensitive time. Certainly, Carmina, we will continue to follow this to see what the outcome is. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Nietzsche.